Spoilers again! Did you miss me? I haven't been on for a while, I apologise for that. It's just been so hectic, you know. Key pieces, coursework, all the little stuff. It all accumulates. It's all very annoying. Anyway, this week, what films have I watched? I'm watching Wolf of Wall Street. It's so hard to get through. Chasing Amy, which I'm doing a review for on the blog rather than the vlog. I've seen Reservoir Dogs. I started watching American Hustle, but I've not got all the way through that. Forces of Nature. I watched that with my BF, not boyfriend. Look at me. Laura, her name is. Hi, Laura. Oh. So, the Riot Club. So I went to go see this, not the Wednesday that's just been, but the Wednesday before, with my other very close best friend. Other best friend. I have two best friends, okay? So, first of all, there was a horror trailer. I'm going to have my notes in front of me. I do forgive me. First of all, there was a horror movie where I literally just sat there with my book. Like, I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. I hate horror films. It was for Annabelle or something like that. I think it's coming to life. That shouldn't be coming to life. Even Karina was like shaking. It was horrible. It was nasty. I don't do horror films. I will never do a horror film review on here. So please never expect a horror film because I hate them. It's just all very, it's too much for me. Then there were the trailers, so you had like the theory of everything, which looks fantastic. Ghostbusters coming back into cinema. The Maze Runner, obviously, Dylan O'Brien. Damn! Love Rosie, that's also got Sam Claflin in. Those are the upcoming films. I'll probably go see all of them. So I will sort that for you. I will get that reviewed. This week is The Riot Club. The Riot Club stars Max Irons, Douglas Booth and Sam Claflin. I'm not going to tell you all the names of all the actors because there's 10 of them. There's 10 of them. How am I supposed to know the names of 10 different actors? That's super hard. I can't do that. Going to see this film for me and Karina was never about going to watch the level of the level of excellent cinematography and the dynamic way the film's been directed. It was literally hot boys. It's clearly a satire. It's clearly a satire because you've got these 10. The story is you've got the Riot Club, which is named after Lord Riot, and they all go to Oxford. It's the beginning of the school of the university year. We find out that they need 2 more members. So obviously Sam Claflin, Max Irons, that's where they come from. Douglas Booth's already in the Riot Club. It's a good story. It's a story. The story was supposed to be humorous, but the actions of the people weren't necessarily humorous. Obviously, you've got teenage boys, and when you've got a group of teenage boys together, they do tend to be quite silly and quite fun. So you obviously had like little bits of banter between them all, which was quite nice because it made it more realistic. There was a scene on the roof where Max Irons is talking to the actress. Really can't remember her name. Who's northern, and they're getting on really well, and she's talking and the camera shakes because they're on the roof, and I think it's supposed to symbolise that it was all very naturalistic and this is the only natural part of it and everything else is superficial, whereas this relationship was, it was never going to be controlled. Yes, I do look into that kind of thing. That's my life, guys. I've literally made notes about how hot all the boys are, so it's like, oh wow, damn, cheekbones could cut glass. Because they were all... lots of sharp lines. They were really pretty. They were really pretty boys. If you're a girl, I wouldn't go watch it in the cinema. I'd wait until it comes out in Sky Movies. Or if you want to go see, 20-year-old boys be hot and at one point get in suits, yeah, go see it. I'm going to warn you, it's not got a very good score though, so I wouldn't go see it on the basis that it's excellent acting and it's an excellent direction, because I didn't really notice anything but the faces, and the story was a little bit... It made me very uncomfortable at the end, but we'll talk about that when I get to the end. They were trying to say... The writers of this film are clearly trying to say that everything is about reputation. How your career goes in school is about your reputation, especially at Oxford. It's prestigious, it's classic, it's expected of quite a few kids. And one of the quotes is, it's just a historical thing. you might not have necessarily, if you haven't had a lot of background, if you haven't got big fancy portraits of your ancestors, then you're not going to be included into this group. Why would you be? It's a historical thing. I like Claflin. He was, in my eyes, the protagonist, not the protagonist, the antagonist. Max Irons was your protagonist, and Sam Claflin was your antagonist. He was a dick. He was really nasty and awkward, and you could just tell that in like probably 20 years he was going to end up murdering someone. Go watch the film. But Claflin can play fun guy. He can be, you know, upbeat and a bit silly, like we see in Love Rosie. Obviously, he played Finnick Odar in The Hunger Games, which I didn't watch because I don't like Jennifer Lawrence. But he played creep very, very well. It was well played, but it was so well played that it made you feel uncomfortable. The whole film just made me uncomfortable. I didn't like Lauren. That's the character's name, which is the actress. It's the character, the female protagonist's name. She was just a bit. They had fun together. I just didn't, like, I related to her after certain things happened, but in the beginning I wasn't like, oh, I really want them together. They really suit each other. They didn't. The drinking game was clever. See, these are just very... If you're like me, and the idea of rape and murder and abuse disgruntles you, makes you angry at the world, don't go watch this film. There is a scene in this film that made me clench. I was furious at the writers because obviously it needed to be put in because it was a big part. It was like the main thing that happened in the film. But it made me very, very uncomfortable, and I would not do that to myself again. I would not sit through that again. The gentleman who played the landlord, the owner of the pub, was excellent. He was very friendly, and you need to go see the film. I don't want to ruin too much of it for you, but the fight scene, it struck me in my core. It made me feel sick because it was disgusting. And I think that's what the writers were trying to say, that these kids don't have any boundaries because they can just pay people off. So they just do the worst things because they think it's okay because they can just pay them off. But this guy, they nearly killed him. And it really... Don't go watch this film if that's the kind of person you are. Obviously go for the first... I would say it's about the first hour and 15 minutes you can watch and be okay with it. Natalie Dormer was in it as well, which was just not needed. Why was she there? Another one from Game of Thrones. Not needed. That whole section was pointless. It just showed that they were arses. They were arses. That they were nasty, nasty guys. But I'm trying to not to swear. But you didn't need that because you could tell by what they were going to do. There was a lot of lead up. This climax was so huge. I hate that word. It was so huge. It was a good film. The acting was okay. Douglas Booth can't act, but he has a nice face. And it was like, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes of, right, hot guys. Okay, hot guys. Okay. Oh no! What are they going to do? They're going to do something terrible. Oh no, they've done something terrible. Repercussion? No, we're not going to tell you those. End of film. You do watch this film feeling like, what just happened? Did I just watch the same film as the reviewers? Because this was crap. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. Originally I thought 5 out of 10, but thinking back about it, it's a 4 out of 10. Pretty boys, mediocre acting. Direction was what you would expect of a film like this. There wasn't anything that I could remember that struck me as fantastic. Whereas with Lucy and Captain America the Winter Soldier, it was, you know, there were certain aspects of the directing that caught me. This was just, this was a satire, but a really uncomfortable, sometimes poorly scripted, especially at the end, because you didn't know what happened, really. It was just like gone. It's based off a book. It's called, it's The Riot Club, but it's also called, the book's called Posh. So maybe that'll be better. I haven't read the book because I didn't know it was based on a book until after the film, but I might read the book just to see if it's any good. I'll let you know what I think of it if I do read it. I doubt I will though, because I take English Lit, and it's going to be a big year for books for me. Yeah, so 4 out of 10, The Riot Club. I'm not going to urge you to go watch it. Go watch Lucy. Go watch Captain America the Winter Soldier. Go watch something where you're going to come out of it like, I just learnt something. Either I just learnt something about life, or oh my god, those people were really attractive, but the acting was really good, and the story, wow, and the foreshadowing, and oh god, that was fantastic. Wow, I enjoyed that 2.5 hours. This was 2 hours and 15 minutes of what's going to happen. Oh, something's happened. Not repercussions. We got about 5 minutes of repercussions, and that was it. You know, normally at the end you get like, sometimes you get like 9 years later, and you see something. You don't see something. It's like the 2 weeks repercussions afterwards, and that's all you get. It wasn't very good. Not going to urge you to go watch it. Go watch something good. Don't watch this. Like I say, unless you want to pervert with the boys. See you in a couple of weeks, or next week. We'll see how it goes. Bye, guys.